roads that start and then end before they even get halfway.
You know, now the problem is we have classification of roads. We have roads that are supposed to be done by Kera, Kura.
Yes.
That is national government.
Yes.
And we have roads that are supposed to be done by us, you see. So like the Kimilili Kapsokony Road, it's a national government project.
Yes.
And what we can do as a county, because this is within our county, is to raise our voice, you know, to continue reminding them about the roads. And we have been doing so many times.
Yes.
Even recently when the president visited us, that was also, it came out.
I remember he mentioned
yes, it came out and he even mentioned. So what we are doing, we are waiting, because there is nothing we can do. It is us to wait, and us to continue reminding them until the time it is done.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have no authority per se to say anything about those roads. They are not ours.
That's interesting. No, before we go to the taxes, I also want to talk about what is happening in other sectors. For example, last year we started the industrial park. Whom are we targeting to invest there?
The industrial park, there are investors who will come to invest, and also our own business men and women of Bungoma. They will also invest there.
Okay.
So this is our okay, it's a project that we were given, but it is a project that will benefit our people, us, the people of Bungoma. And if external investors come in, the better for us.
They have a space to operate.
Yes, they have a space, and that will also add some value, because, you know, any investor that comes in, one way or another, they'll be able to employ our children.
Yes, yes.
They'll be able to do a few things in our county that will help improve the status of this county.
Yes.
So when we finish, we will welcome all investors to come and invest.
But we also have a bad history in terms of not managing well our resources, because we have industrial parks, KIE, Kenya Industrial Estates. Then we have constituency industrial parks, which, of course, you'll say it's national government idea, but you see, they are within our community. All our wards are supposed to have something similar. Our markets are there, Misihu, Kamkuya, Kimilili. You see, we have very bad stories around not managing well and achieving. For example, all that I've mentioned have become white elephants. How sure are we that this new industrial park will be a story changer? And why haven't we followed well for the existing resources? Or we just disregard that and do this because now this is coming our time?
You know, as we continue living in this world, times changes, seasons change, and people's mind also change. It is true that we have not managed other projects before well, but that is not a reason to make us not to try.
Okay.
Yeah, because they always say a person who fears or who fails to try, maybe that is a dead person. But if you are alive, you will keep on trying until we succeed. So we are hopeful that regardless of the failures, regardless of what happened there behind us, we are hopeful that the projects that we are now beginning, we will be able now with the new technology around us, we'll be able to sensitize our people to be able to own these projects. Because there before, people were not owning the projects, you know, and that is the reason why they were not sustainable. But we want the people of Bungoma to own, let's say, this industrial park. We want them to say, the businessmen and women, to feel like this is our thing. It is ours. And if we work towards making it successful, then we have also succeeded as a people. So it is about the mindset, changing our perception, and also talking positive to our people. Many a times we are used to just talking negative, saying, okay, this and this was done, it failed. So what does that mean? We should keep on improving, keep on trying until the time we succeed.
I want to thank you and take my thanks to the county government for making the water project successful.
Yeah.
Now Bungoma cannot go into the water blues because they have sufficient supply of water. But now that is the urban side. The rural Bungoma is still going to have a lot of water problems. What mitigations are there to support the rural communities that usually are prone to waterlessness?
Thank you. That's a good question. We are really trying because water is essential. And for us to say we have done well as a county is when our people are comfortable, they can be able to access these commodities.
Yes.
We have done through our partners the Koika phase 1 and phase 2. And this Koika phase 2, it's going to supply water around Kibabi downwards. I'm sure it will go up to this lower part. It's going to flow.
Areas, eh?
Yes, it's going to flow. Then now, we are going to do Koika phase 3. Recently, Governor Lusaka came from Korea, and one of the agenda that he went to do there is to have a discussion with the Korean government on this Koika phase 3 project. It had not been approved.
Okay.
But by him visiting Korea and meeting with the government of Korea, it's like almost done. It is now approved. It's only remaining something very little, and they are coming now to start that project phase 3. That phase 3 will cover around, it will start from a place called Sosio. Sosio is in Kaptama.
Yes.
It will flow to Kamkuiwa. It will come to Ebuye. It will go up to Tongaren. So I think it's only...
You remember the hardship area. You know Tongaren is hardship area.
Yes, so it's only a matter of time. The issue of water is going to be...
Dealt with.
Yes, it's going to be sorted out.
Okay, now, don't laugh when I say Tongaren is a hardship area. Do you know that you cannot go to Tongaren? How can you go to Tongaren? For you to go to Tongaren, you have to go to Kiminini, and that's in Trans Nzoia. You see, it's a hardship area.
I know.
Good. So take our prayers.
We are on it. We are on it.
Now,
this is now we are going to our third year, and we are really hoping and praying. Me, as a pastor,
yes.
I have a lot of faith that what we promised our people, we are going to deliver.
Good.
Yes.
There is this issue about taxes.
Yes.
For us to pay all these services, we are not only supposed to wait for the national government. There is that area, that bit which we are supposed to do as Bungoma County. What is the capacity like as we speak?
We are trying. When we came in, the tax collection was really low.
Okay.
And we are still crippling with a few issues because we realized there were so many leakages. Bungoma County, we are able to collect more taxes than what we collect at the moment.
Okay.
But because of few challenges that we found, and they are still there, we are still working on them.
Yes.
Now we want to make sure to make sure that every department are responsible in collecting their own taxes.
Okay.
So that as they collect now, the finance department becomes like a central point of collection, but the people who are doing the real collection are department. So we are trying, because we are trying to find out a way where we can be able to improve on our tax collection. And if we succeed, I think we will be good to go.
What is the target, 2023, 2024?
The target is, what billion? I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure.
Oh, you went into billion, not million.
Million.
Billion or million?
Million.
Million. You didn't go past a billion?
No.
2024, 2025? you still not have figures.
Yeah.
But then the issue that comes to mind is if we want to be a city the way we want, that should be one of the very first questions we should be dealing with. I'm encouraged by some of smaller towns out there who are hitting $1 billion in tax collections, and you wonder, what are you making this money from? We are better blessed, we are better endowed than them. So I don't know, maybe that's a conversation we need to revisit.
Yeah, that is a conversation for another day, and I think I'm willing to come back and, engage on that.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's very important for sure for our people to understand that as they pay their taxes, they want to see how much are we collecting at the end of the day, and how has it been used. Yeah, so let that be a conversation of another day.
Yes.
I'm really willing to come and we explore on that.
I saw the speed at which Kamkuya Market came up when we were going towards Madaraka Day.
Yes.
I passed there for the past week, there is no activity going on. What happened?
What happened, there is support from the national government. The national government wants to come in and complete the Kamkuya Market, you see.
Okay.
So for us, we had begun. So up to where we have reached, it is now the national government
which is supposed to
come now and complete. And I think there is a conversation going on whether they'll continue with this contractor or they want to bring their own. So that is the reason why, some people are saying it has stalled. It has not stalled. It's only a comma, but it's going to...
That's a very pronounced comma. The things that we see.
Yes.
We can see some excitement in some areas, and it's okay.
Yes.
But then in other areas, you see there's no excitement. So we wonder, what is it? And then maybe another element is, what are we doing to the farmers of the county?
The issue of excitement, let me just respond on that. As a governor, you are there, you're supposed to manage 9 constituencies or sub-counties and 45 wards.
Yes.
So it is a matter of balancing. Balancing the projects. Everything you do, you have to balance. Because if you don't do that, other people will cry.
Yes.
The reason why we have not done much in other areas is because when we came in, Governor Lusaka in his manifesto had promised people that he will ensure he completes all the projects that had been started by his predecessor.
Yes.
So that is the reason why the allocation that we were supposed now to start new projects, we had first to ensure we complete these stalled projects, because there were so many. In almost every sub-county, we had stalled projects. And the governor said, for sure, it will not be fair for people paying their taxes, and then we just leave projects like these ones. You should not just begin new projects, leaving aside those that were started long time.
Then the ones is beginning will definitely not be completed.
Exactly.
So it's a story of uncompleted.
Yeah, so he said, I want first to complete whatever that had been started by my predecessor. And that is what we are doing. But now we are saying in this financial year, the coming one, we now want to do some projects. And one of the key projects that we are doing, like in Kamkuya now, the markets that we want to raise the markets in our areas, so that that becomes also a legacy for our governor. We are also trying to start new projects. Like recently we launched the construction of a mental unit, a big mental unit in our Bungoma Referral Hospital.
Yes.
We also launched, in the last 2 weeks, we also launched a modern outpatient unit in Webuye. So those now are the projects that we want to start this new financial year. That will now be our projects that we are now starting. And we want to ensure any project any project that we begin now, we ensure it ends.
You finish it before.
We finish it before our time. Yeah, because there is this tendency whereby a leader comes, you do not finish your projects, you go away, another one comes, he refuses to finish the project because they feel if they do, credit will go to the person who started. But you see, my governor, he is not worried that credit will go to anyone. Because we want the people of Bungoma to benefit, to rejoice. If Bungoma people are happy, then my governor is happy, and those other minor stories from people doesn't really matter so much.
There is this story about starting and not finishing, or maybe not finishing, or maybe not doing anything. But then there is the farmers of Bungoma. Yeah. The farmers of Bungoma seem to be among the crowd. Infrastructure development has taken the first seat, and everything else has followed. But agriculture as a sector is not very exciting to the administration. Because we are going with the flow, we are leaving it to chance. If it is rain, let rain come, then we will plant. We're doing nothing. As in, look at the coffee.
We are doing something.
Of course, of course. There is that which you are doing, but it's among the crowd. There is no specific emphasis. Our coffee, for example.
Yes.
You see, according to me, we should have done a bit better than what we're doing. Yes.
Yeah, we are trying. There are some other activities which if you do them, it doesn't shout, people cannot really see. Like now in agriculture, we do a lot of capacity building, those are soft things that people cannot,
tangible,
cannot see. Yeah, because you see, for us to do good agricultural practice, we have to, capacity build our farmers, so that they can know that things have changed, the way of doing farming, it has changed, everything about farming has changed, and we are also encouraging them that we now want to do agriculture as business, not like doing agriculture only for food. We have been doing that for quite a long time, but now we want to change the strategy. We want to do it as a business, and that is now the focus. That focus brings on board now us trying to train our farmers to be able to understand the modern methods of putting in place to ensure they increase their production. We have had problems with you have talked about coffee. We are producing coffee, and in fact the best coffee in the country. But we have had challenges with the SACCO management. And that is something that we are working towards improving and ensuring we put the right people in those leadership positions. We are educating our farmers to understand when we are picking on these committee members, what are the qualities, what is the criteria that should be followed. Because if you put the right people in place, believe me, you are going to achieve. But there before, we've been just picking anyone. As long as you are a farmer, or sometimes you are not even a farmer, you don't grow any coffee, but you are the chairman. So, you really don't understand the challenges that farmers go through. So we want to improve that sector so that our people get the knowledge, the know-how on how to manage the SACCOs. Because if we succeed in putting in place good leadership in those circles, they will be able to manage themselves. As they do that as a county government, we will just be now overseeing what the farmers are doing, encouraging them and helping them where necessary. Like when Lusaka came in, he gave out farm inputs, and we are saying we want to give out farm inputs for maize, and even for tea and for coffee. And that is something that we are already doing.
At the moment, okay.
Yes. We are also working, we want to encourage more farmers to plant coffee, to plant tea. So the county government is working in their wards to ensure they have seeds. And in other words, even as we talk, they have given out seeds for coffee, and farmers are planting.
Okay.
Yeah, so slowly by slowly, we are improving the agricultural sector, and we even want to do more because that is where the economy lies. You see, if we increase.
Have you had a conversation about the waiver? Because most of these societies have a lot of debts. I come from, my father was member number 1 to Mahanga when that generation.
Yes.
And Mahanga is still burdened by the deni that was there from 1979. Now, issue is, most of those societies have those small denis, and those denis are the ones that are removing the real shilling from the farmers. There was a bit of campaign, the sugar sector has benefited.
Yeah.
What about the coffee society in the county? Do we have that? Do we have that conversation? Have we had that conversation as a county administration?
Yeah, the reason why we have had these debts is because of mismanagement, what I've just raised. This management has really caused a lot of harm to our farmers, to an extent that other farmers were even uprooting their coffee because they felt like, this thing is not benefiting us in any way. And that's the conversation that we are having as a county government, trying to educate the farmers to understand. Point number 1, they have to put the right leaders in those positions.
Okay.
Because that is where everything begins. John Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership. So if we have the right leadership, all these other issues that we are talking about, it will be
sorted.
Yeah, it will be sorted out.
The focused leadership will be able to prioritize.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is a conversation going on between the department and the farmers, and we are even incorporating other partners who can come and help us in terms of training, in terms of putting up these circles, in terms of maybe taking these leaders for exposure, because maybe they always say seeing is believing. So we would want them to maybe to visit other areas, see what other farmers are doing on their own.
Yes.
Maybe out of after they come out of that place, they will be, their perception and everything will have changed.
Let's talk about what's happening in Musase. What progress? Because we don't seem to be seeing any activities there.
I think in Musese there was a problem, but it is being sorted out. Like as I've told you that we have a serious conversation going on, because we really want to revamp this agricultural sector. And when we start the conversation, we are focusing on all our circles, just trying to find out what is it that is happening, what is it that we have not done right. So out of this conversation, we will be able to come up with a solution, because this conversation will bring on board all stakeholders.
Okay.
Yeah, if all stakeholders put their heads together, have a discussion, I'm sure we'll come up with a long-lasting solution that will help revamp that sector.
Large estate owners, I know of some large estate owners in this county who may have wanted to crash coffee and start selling coffee to locals. But the licensing, you really had to put up hurdles so that these guys cannot give us our coffee. I would imagine that will have been the first thing. All coffee in county offices is local. Why do we have a lot of hurdles? You see, we moved from where the coffee, you see, those days before changes came, coffee to the farmer was up to the harvesting. Once you harvest coffee and enter the factory, you surrender all rights to coffee. Nowadays, the law has changed that. We have control of our coffee.
Yeah.
Why don't we, as a county government, demonstrate to the Bungoma farmers that the coffee in our county offices is local, and then encourage large estate owners and by extent, the societies to enable us to take our own coffee.
Yeah,
is it so hard?
It's not very hard. Like I've told you, out of this conversation, we are going to come out with a solution. But after all, we've come from far. And where we are at the moment, we have made some progress. Like we can talk about Misese, even if it has challenges. We can talk about Chesikaki. It's a milling factory. We have it in Chesikaki. It's doing very well. They have started packaging their coffee. So we are making small steps. Okay. Yeah, and that is something to be happy about.
Another conversation which I want you to promise me is about coffee. And that day, we're going to have all coffee brands on this table here.
Okay.
So that our viewers can start seeing that there's this conversation going on. That would be very nice.
I wish you even told me that we are coming to discuss about coffee. I have some samples even in my office. From Chesikaki. Okay. Yes. Very nice tea, coffee.
You see, the hour is done. We already finished.
Really? Wow.
We're not finished. We've talked just like a half of what I wanted us to discuss.
Yes.
But the problem that isn't the problem. The point which I would like you to conclude with is going forward. What is the county government going to do to help locals who may want to invest around industrial parks? You see, we have Kenya Industrial Estates. We have designated constituency industrial parks that are not even in play. We have ward-based. Then we have vocational training institutes that are scattered around the county. You see, so what is it or what conversation can we begin with the county government so that we encourage local talent to find spaces of expression? And when I talk about local talent, mostly we'll be looking at singing, soccer, and running. But then there is this artistic talents which can be able to be expressed through the production of things they can be able to make with their own hands. What conversation can we begin?
At the moment, as a county government, we have what is called Ajiri. Have you heard about it?
Vaguely, yes.
Yes, Ajiri is a center whereby we encourage and we promote talent, especially for the youth, our upcoming musicians, because we believe Bungoma has a lot of talent. So this Ajiri Center will be handy in ensuring our local talent is promoted, and we encourage them to come out. As a county government, what we need to do, the conversation should be around ensuring we have a conducive environment where people can really feel comfortable, they can feel encouraged, they can feel appreciated, because even if you have a wonderful talent, if you don't get people who will mentor you, people who will hold your hand, people who will encourage you, in fact, you will go along the way, you will be discouraged. So we want to provide that conducive environment that will attract our people to come and invest in our centers. And by so doing, I'm sure we'll be able to make some strides.
Whoa. Okay, it's just coming up to 10 o'clock. Let's make a date with Her Excellency, Madam Jennifer Mbatiani, Pastor.
Yes.
About the subsequent conversation which we are going to make.
Yeah.
And through her office and maybe other departments, so that they discuss or they bring up to you what is happening out there that we need to interact with.
Yeah.
Those opportunities that exist in the county government or in association with the government of Bungoma are very many, and you need to take advantage of this so that you also benefit. We come to an end. On behalf of the show director, Kelvin Kibet, and on behalf of our guest, Madam Mbatiani, I just want to say, stay in touch. We meet again next week on Tuesday for another interesting conversation. This is CKS.